who was doing $75,000 by letting AI do the heavy lifting. And this isn't about like over blagging stats. This is actually live about how to really think about this and how to actually do it. So you've got your offer, you've got the proof, but if your sales are depending on you and you're having to show up every time to convert the sale, then that isn't leverage. That's like a job, a full-time job, plus all the other jobs you've got. And this week, a business owner replaced their entire VSL, their video sales letter system, and their nurture sequence with real-time GPT assistance and closed $75,000. So let's talk about how realistic this can be for you and your business. No hype allowed in this live in any way. So my name is Laura Chattington, and I help experienced business owners simplify their marketing, elevate their offers, and install AI to really scale without them becoming the bottleneck. I work with coaches and consultants, ex-corporate professionals. I'm one of them who are already great at what they do, but their business still kind of secretly runs on them. And this is no part like it's not the work that burns you out. It's the repetition of everything, isn't it? So today I'm going to be walking through why AI isn't replacing you. It's replacing the repetition, right? And how AI can handle 80% of your sales process, 80% of your sales process strategically, and where your expertise, your genius needs to stay to convert premium high-level buyers. And if you've ever said, like, I'm too busy to think about anything else to scale, this is for you. Now, we go deep into all of this stuff in my 3-hour strategic event, which is called Simplify Marketing Live, where we walk you through where you build your own personalized growth plan, which is about high leverage moves. So if you're interested in checking that out, then just click on the link or DM me or whatever, wherever this is. So let's be honest. Most of you watching are like the expert and the engine in the business. And you've got leads coming in, you've got buyers coming in, but you're still like explaining your offer 10 different ways, 10 different times a day, 10 different ways, trying the same 5 responses to the same objections, following up manually, trying to track everything, hoping everyone replies. And the system you built works, it works, right? You're making money, it's awesome, but it only works when you do. And that is you just can't scale that. No matter how awesome you are, no matter how efficient you are, you just cannot scale that. And that stress is that stress is, how much does it cost you? How much does it cost you? So there's this belief going around that AI is going to replace coaches, consultants, business. We're going to all lose our businesses. We're going to all lose our jobs. We're going to lose everything. AI is just going to take over the world. Now, here's the truth. It won't replace the work that requires you, your mind, your expertise, your voice, your lens, your personality. But it should replace the 80% you've been doing on autopilot, right? All those re-explaining what's already in your head, typing what could be trained, saying the same thing over and over and over and over. And I was checking out this like deep research. So I run this, and actually it's automated. I run this deep research prompt daily. And this story I saw like in the last day or maybe it's 2 days ago. Anyway, at least the last 48 hours. And it was about a solo coach who launched a 5K offer and decided to kind of skip the usual stuff like the webinar. And there's no webinar, there was no nurture sequence. It was just like no DM pitch, get on a pitch. There was none of that. Instead, they built a Notion document with the offer, the outcomes, the proof, right? So the document with all the outcomes, the offer, the proof, and paired it with a custom kind of AI assistant, right? And this AI was built to answer objections in real time. So anything that came up, personalized responses based on who they were talking to, so the profile of who they were talking to. It was designed to pull out testimonials and screenshots and the kind of logic for the pricing and guide people to either book a call or buy directly. And it worked. It worked. $75,000 in collected revenue. It's kind of cool, right? In 1 week, no sales calls, minimum follow-up. But here is the thing that most people miss when you see these stories, right? They either think like, oh my God, AI is going to put me out of business. AI is going to put me out of business. It's going to replace me. I better jump on the hype train of AI, however I do that. Or they think like, that's cool, but it's not going to work in my business. It's cool, but it's not going to work in my business. And let me give you the truth about both of those, but both of those, right? AI didn't close those sales. The system did, right? The system closed the sales. And this coach didn't just like throw like this kind of cool chat box into the business. They trained it with all her kind of intellectual property, her client's strongest wins, the offer logic, the transcript, tone of voice, everything that AI needed to know about how the business, how the offers work. And it wasn't just plug and play. It was designed to deliver clarity before she ever kind of stepped into it. So here's why this is a game changer for you if you're like doing over 6 figures, multiple 6, 7 figures. Most of your buyers are one well answered kind of like one hesitation, one query, one question away from buying. Once they get a certain way down the funnel, whatever that funnel looks like for you, most of them, there's hesitation or there's something. And most of your time is spent answering probably 5 same questions, right? And you're kind of working out different ways, different words, different ways of saying that. And most of your sales energy is wasted on kind of warming people up, right? Warming people when you should only be stepping in that final. I always talk about like AI can do 80% of the repetition, the automation. You should be focused on the 20% that actually requires you and your expertise. And that's really what's happening. Okay, now, yes, there is definitely, if you think of any system in your business, but in the sales system in your business, if you can get AI to do 80% of that work, imagine just how much that frees you up, like in any system in your business. And let's be real, this isn't about AI hype. It's about finally kind of building a workflow, a sales process that respects your time and protects your energy, because you don't have to think about it. I mean, we all like talking to our customers, potential customers, but it can be quite draining. So when you're not like stepping in and firefighting, you could be spending that last 20% closing the deals, really high value deals. Yeah. I mean, more than 5K, right? Deals that cost, a lot to get people through. And then, the investment is bigger. You don't always need to, and when you think about AI taking that 80% away, you don't always need to be on when people are texting, DMing, or asking questions. You don't need to be like writing and recording looms every 5 minutes for people. Can you explain blah, 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 blah again, kind of thing. What you need to do is think about it as a system, and how do you architect like 80%, get people 80% of the way there, and position everything you do in your meeting, in your sales meeting, so that everything's pretty much been answered, right? And it frees you up to focus about the real work, the real value, how you can add value to particular clients. It's not that repetition. It's not the repetition. And that is the story behind doing a 75K week, right? It's not magic. It's not tech hype. It's strategic simplification and like one high leverage move done right. So what I guess the kind of takeaway from this is thinking about how to use business first AI, and thinking about like, what is already happening in my business? Where am I the bottleneck? Where am I slowing things down? What am I doing repeatedly that I need to be finding other ways to do? And actually inside Simplified Marketing Live, we don't just build the tech, we install what I like to call high leverage moves. High leverage moves. And it's about using AI strategically, business first, AI strategically, to handle objections, to filter buyers, to tell your story, talk about what you do, testimonials, all of that stuff. And then you actually step in and do that last 20%. Maybe it's not even 20% actually, but the part only you can do, all your team can do. And the combination is where the leverage is. And what most people mess up when this is they're trying to think about, like, I'm going to get a box or an AI something or other, and it's going to be like fully automate everything, trust everything in the business. And it doesn't, right? It doesn't. They never train AI on, the nuances, the tone, I mean, you can do that, but there are still things that as humans we need to interact. I would never let an AI GPT or agent or whatever be taking 100% control of the whole situation if there were high value clients. And sometimes people think like, if it's manual, it's more premium, but actually that's not true either. It's not about you being there all the time. It's about you being there where the expertise is required. So the question is, what happens if you don't start thinking about this, like really strategically? And what happens is you keep scaling your revenue, right? And that's cool. But actually that's always going to come back to you, like shrinking your energy, your effort. You say like stuck, everything's in your brain. It's hard to delegate, you kind of get stuck between that kind of, this is what I set the business up for. This is the actual grind daily of the business. And your calendar will continue to be the bottleneck. You are the bottleneck. So this is the fix. And it's like we all have the same time in the day. We all have the same time. It's what we do with it and how we think about it that makes the difference. So if you're done being the glue in your business and everything's sitting on your shoulders, then come and experience one of our Simplified Marketing Live events. And in just 3 hours, and people sometimes say to me, is it really 3 hours? Is it really? And I'm kind of like, yeah, because in 3 hours, you're going to do more than you did in the last 3 months. I virtually guarantee it. In 3 hours, you're going to map you and your business's high leverage growth plan, right? And you're going to install the first steps of this kind of AI business first model so that you can reclaim your time and scale with a clean system in your business. So you've got to experience it. It's like the outcome, the plans are like so focused. It's so personalized because we do the events in partner with the AI. So come and join one of these events, because you've got the offer, you've got the proof, but when the sales, the system, the business, everything is on your shoulders, depending on you, you're the bottleneck. That's where you're just never going to get out of that trap. So let the AI carry the 80%. Let the AI do 80%. 80% of everything in your business can be done by AI, right? We used to think about that as people in our business, but now we can be thinking about in terms of tech, AI, and people, and let you focus on your 20%. You know, I would say it took me 25 years to be able to do this 20%. Let AI do the rest. Let's build a business that will scale for you, give you the freedom without costing you your time, your peace, your presence, your everything, and why you probably set out to do the business in the first place. So go to www. Link's probably in here, but either DM me and we will find you a time when it suits you, or go to www.simplifiedmarketinglive.com. And yeah, I look forward to walking you through this 3-hour experience, because it's going to change your business. It's going to change your life, right? It's like you're going to do more in those 3 hours than you've done in the last 3 months. I virtually promise that to you. So www.simplifiedmarketinglive.com, and I will see you there.